Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm Mark, and I am super excited for today's episode.
You seem very energetic today, Mark. Hello, everyone. I'm Sarah. What is the topic today?
Well, Sarah, today we are going to talk about magic, specifically the magic of movie making. We are looking at Harry Potter.
Oh, I love Harry Potter. I read all the books when I was younger. It's such a great story.
It really is. But today, we aren't just talking about the story. We're going to learn some fascinating facts about how they made the films and wrote the books.
Sounds interesting. And we'll learn some English along the way?
Exactly. We will look at vocabulary for writing, filming, and building things. So, let's start with the writer, J.K. Rowling.
She is very famous now. Everybody knows her name.
Yes, but did you know that it wasn't easy for her at the beginning? The manuscript for the first book, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, was rejected by 12 publishers.
12? You mean 12 different companies said no?
Yes, 12 times. In English, when a publisher says no to a book, we say the book was rejected or turned down.
Turned down. That is a good phrasal verb. So, her book was turned down 12 times before one finally accepted it.
Exactly. It shows the importance of perseverance. Do you know that word?
Perseverance. It means you don't give up, right?
Perfect. She had perseverance. And she didn't just write it quickly. She spent about 5 years planning the rules and the world of Harry Potter before she even finished the first book.
5 years just planning? Wow.
Yes, when you organize ideas before writing, we often say you map out the story. She mapped out the magic rules for 5 years.
That explains why the story feels so real. The details are amazing.
Speaking of details, let's talk about the movies now. The scale of the production was huge.
What do you mean by scale?
Scale here means the size or extent of something. For example, over the 8 films, they built 538 individual sets.
538? That is a massive number.
It is. A set is the place where they film a scene, like a room or a street.
Did they build the whole castle?
Not exactly. For the wide shots, where you see the whole castle from the sky, they used a model. But it wasn't tiny. It was a 1/24 scale model.
1 to 24?
That means the model was 24 times smaller than real life, but it was still over 50 feet wide.
50 feet wide? That is bigger than my apartment.
Probably. They used it for aerial shots. Aerial means from the air or sky. So when the camera flies over Hogwarts, it is actually looking at this big model.
That is movie magic. I always thought it was just a computer image.
A lot of it was real. For example, do you remember the Great Hall? The big room where they eat?
Yes, with the floating candles in the air. That was beautiful.
Well, in the first film, those floating candles were real.
Real? How did they float?
They used wires. There were hundreds of candles hanging on wires. But there was a problem. The heat from the flames burned the wires.
Oh no, that sounds dangerous.
It was. The candles kept falling down while they were filming.
Imagine eating dinner and a candle falls on your head.
Exactly. It was a safety hazard. So, in the later movies, they stopped using real candles. They used CGI instead.
CGI? What does that stand for?
CGI stands for computer-generated imagery. It means pictures made by a computer.
Ah, okay. So real candles were too dangerous, so they switched to CGI. That makes sense.
You are using "so" perfectly there to show the result.
Thanks. Learning English facts helps me remember the grammar.
That's the goal. Let's take a short break And when we come back, we will talk about the actors. Welcome back. Before the break, we talked about dangerous candles. Now, let's talk about the actors, specifically Daniel Radcliffe, who played Harry.
He was so young in the first movie.
He was, and he had to wear Harry's famous round glasses. But here is a funny fact. Daniel Radcliffe broke a lot of them.
Really? How many?
Over the course of the series, he went through over 160 pairs.
160? Why?
Because he kept breaking them. He was a young boy, running around, playing with the wand. Snap.
Wait, Mark, you said he kept breaking them. Can you explain that grammar?
Good catch. When we say someone kept doing something, it means they did it again and again. It was a repeated action.
So, if I sneeze many times, can I say I kept sneezing?
Exactly. Or he kept forgetting his lines. In this case, he kept breaking his glasses.
That must have been expensive for the production team.
Probably. Speaking of the kids, there is another interesting rule they had to follow regarding child labor laws.
Ah, laws about children working.
Yes, in the UK, there are strict rules. The main actors, Harry, Ron, and Hermione, could only film for about 4 or 5 hours a day.
Only 4 hours? That's a short day.
Yes, the rest of their time was for schoolwork and breaks. They went to school in a special room at the studio.
That must be hard. Filming a movie and doing homework at the same time.
Very hard. Because of the short filming hours, it took a long time to finish the movies.
So, what did the crew do when the kids were studying?
They prepared sets or used stand-ins. A stand-in is a person who stands in the actor's place to check the lights and framing.
I see. So they didn't waste time.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about something scary. Do you remember the Forbidden Forest?
Ooh, yes. It was dark and full of monsters.
To make it look big, they used hand-painted backdrops. A backdrop is a large painted cloth behind the scene to look like the sky or woods.
Like a background painting?
Yes, some were 600 feet long. They built the forest on sound stages.
What is a soundstage?
A soundstage is a large, soundproof building where movies are filmed. They built the forest inside to control the weather and lighting.
Smart. If you film outside, it might rain when you don't want it to.
Exactly. They even used real tree trunks in the studio to make it realistic.
Real trees inside a building? That is cool.
But do you know what lived in that forest?
I think I know. The big spider?
Yes, Aragog. Now, Sarah, do you think Aragog was CGI or real?
It must be CGI. A spider that big cannot be real.
Actually, it was an animatronic.
Anima what?
Animatronic. It is a robot that looks like an animal or a monster and moves using motors.
So the actors were looking at a real giant robot spider?
Yes, it was life-size, meaning the same size as in the story. It was 10 feet tall.
10 feet! That is 3 meters. I would be so scared.
The actors were scared too. They interacted with the robot on set. The computer team added details later, but the physical spider was there.
That helps the acting. It is easier to be scared of a giant robot than a green wall.
That is a great point. Reacting to something real is always better.
What other real things did they build?
Well, Dumbledore's office is a great example. It took 250 crew members months to build that room.
Wow, that is a lot of people.
They even built the moving portraits and rotating staircase. They put a lot of effort into the props.
Props?
Props are small objects actors use or touch, like books, wands, or potions.
Props. Okay, so the books in Dumbledore's office were props.
Exactly. Thousands of them.
I love learning about the behind the scenes. It makes me want to watch the movies again.
Me too, but don't go anywhere yet. We have more exciting facts about flying and fast cars coming up next.
Okay, Mark, I am ready. You mentioned fast cars?
Not cars, but carts. Do you remember the bank? Gringotts.
Oh, yes, the bank run by the goblins. They have those crazy underground tunnels.
Exactly. In the movie, the characters ride a cart through the tunnels to get to their vault. It looks like a roller coaster.
Was that CGI?
It was a mix. They actually built a custom track for the cart, and the cart could move really fast, up to 15 miles per hour.
15 miles per hour? That is quite fast for a movie set.
It is, but for the really dangerous high-speed parts, they didn't use the main actors. They used stunt doubles.
Stunt doubles. I know this one. These are professionals who do the dangerous action scenes instead of the stars, right?
Perfect definition. The stunt doubles filmed the fast parts against a green screen.
Why a green screen?
A green screen is a bright green background. The computer can easily replace the green color with any image later, like a deep cave or mountain.
So the actors are safe in the studio, but in the movie, it looks like they are deep underground.
Precisely. Now, speaking of green screens, let's talk about Quidditch.
Quidditch, the flying sport. I always wondered how they filmed that. They can't actually fly, obviously.
No, unfortunately, magic brooms don't exist yet. To film Quidditch, the actors had to sit on wire rigs.
Wire rigs? What are those?
A rig is a piece of equipment or machinery used for a specific purpose. In this case, it looked a bit like a tall chair or a trampoline high in the air, attached to wires.
That sounds uncomfortable.
It was. The actors said it was quite painful after a few hours. They sat on these broomsticks high up in the air, and fans blew wind in their faces to make it look like they were flying fast.
So they were just sitting on a stick in a windy room?
Basically, yes. And they had to pretend to see the bludgers, the angry balls that try to hit them.
Oh, right, the balls. Were the balls there?
No, the bludgers and the pitch, the stadium, were added digitally later. The actors were just reacting to nothing.
That requires good acting skills. You have to look scared of a ball that isn't there.
Definitely. It's all about imagination.
You know, Mark, all these facts, the 538 sets, the robot spider, the wire rigs, it shows that making a movie is like a huge puzzle.
That is a beautiful way to say it. A puzzle with thousands of pieces.
Is there any other fact about the construction? You mentioned Dumbledore's office earlier.
Ah, yes. One more thing about the sets. We talked about the Great Hall and the office, but the level of detail was everywhere.
Go on.
For example, the portraits on the walls. In the story, the people in the paintings move and talk.
Yes, I love that part.
To make that happen, they had to film real actors in costumes and then put those videos into the frames on the wall using visual effects.
So every painting was a little movie itself?
Exactly. Hundreds of little movies inside the big movie.
The amount of work is unbelievable.
We can say it was painstaking.
Painstaking?
Painstaking means done with great care and thoroughness. It takes a lot of effort.
So building the sets was a painstaking process.
Perfect sentence, Sarah.
I think I appreciate the movies even more now. It is not just magic spells, it is the magic of hard work.
Well said. And speaking of hard work, we have practiced a lot of English today.
Yes, I learned manuscript, rejected, scale model, animatronic, and painstaking.
And don't forget grammar points like kept breaking and using so for results.
It was a very productive lesson, Mark. Thank you.
You are very welcome, Sarah. Before we finish, I want to ask you a question.
Sure, go ahead.
If you could visit one of these sets, the Great Hall, the Forbidden Forest, or Dumbledore's office, which one would you choose?
That is a tough question. I think I would choose Dumbledore's office
Why is that?
because of the details you mentioned. I want to see the books and the portraits close up, and maybe try the rotating staircase.
That sounds fun. I think I would choose the Great Hall. I want to see how big it really is.
Just watch out for the falling candles.
Good point. I'll bring an umbrella just in case.
Mark, do you have any final advice for our listeners who are learning English with movies?
That is a great question. Yes, I do. My advice is, don't worry if you don't understand every word.
That is important.
Even native speakers might miss a word in a fast conversation like in the movies. Focus on the context. Look at what the actors are doing, their body language.
And the props. If Harry is holding a wand and looks scared, you know something bad is happening.
Exactly. Use the visual clues. And also, turn on the subtitles in English, not your native language.
Yes, reading and listening at the same time helps a lot. It helps you connect the sound to the spelling.
And if you hear a phrase you like, pause the movie and repeat it. Like we practiced today. He kept breaking his glasses.
He kept breaking his glasses. The book was rejected.
Perfect. Shadowing, repeating after the speaker, is a powerful technique.
Thanks for the tips, Mark. This episode was really fun.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's always nice to combine learning with something we love, like Harry Potter.
Definitely. I'm going to watch the first movie tonight and look for the wire rigs.
Let me know if you spot them. Well, that's all for today's episode. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you, everyone. Keep practicing and see you next time.
Bye for now.